What's up, everyone? Champ back again for the UFC prediction video. This time for UFC Fight Night Atlanta, Usman versus Buckley. Super excited for this card. We got a great card ahead of you coming up, and let's get into it. I'm very excited to get into it. But first, as always, we go over what happened last week, how we did last week on the previous card we had, and pull it up. Pretty well. It went pretty all right. So, as you can see, ended up making some nice profit. Worked well. So let's go up top to bottom, or bottom to top, excuse me, with the bets I had. I think that's the first one I had on this card, or was it? It might have been Medeiros. I don't even remember. It feels like forever ago now, even though it definitely hasn't been. Because Salkill was okay. It's Medeiros. I had money on Medeiros to finish, and if he didn't finish, I got my money back. Pretty good bet in my opinion. And like there were worlds where Medeiros gets that fight finished. Quincy didn't have like much of anything for Medeiros, so it pushed. I got my money back, but it is what it is. Like I mean, what's there to say? Like Medeiros looked pretty good. I thought he looked pretty good. He's all right. Like I know people are like acting like he's like, oh, easy fate of my life, but I don't know. Medeiros is all right. He's a young guy, still making improvements. He looked good in this fight, and he did what he had to do against a guy who's just not there, not at the UFC level, in my opinion. So, props to Medeiros. Next fight I had to bet on, Salkill. I had money on him to win by decision. Also parlayed him with like Bautista. Yeah, maybe not as easy as like some people were making it out to be. But Salkill is just better everywhere, in my opinion. And sure, he got cracked a little bit in round 3, but it was too little too late. He's got a good chin. The grappling was on display. That dude has really good wrestling and grappling. So I'm not even mad at losing my submission bet at the odds it was at. Yeah, it was well done. Well done by Salkill. I thought it looked really good. And I think this guy's probably a really good prospect. I know I was talking about like as a guy who picked Ancho Jubilee to beat him, but yeah, I mean, it was a pretty good matchup for Salkill, to be fair. The next bet I had to bet on, was Sang Yu to win in rounds 1 and 2. What an amazing bet! That's one of the best KOs of the year, if not the best. It's up there with Hoofy's spinning, like the spinning wheel kick or spinning back kick, whatever you want to call it. Oh my god, that was a thing of beauty. Within like 30 seconds, Hook out cold, Jekka out cold, face planted coming down. I mean, you can't script that. It's beautiful. Conor McGregor-esque, and I say that all not necessarily comparing him, even though he is inspired by him, but I mean, very similar to the Jose Aldo knockout, where the guy just falls down after a punch coming in. So, man, that was a thing of beauty. I like me some Drew Sang Yu. So very happy to cash out. I had a pretty good amount of money on that, so that felt good. The next bet I had, what was the next fight on that card? Was it? Where was it? If it will load. If it will load. Yeah. Kong Wang, or Wong Tong, as the commentators say. I was kind of reluctant at like points of the week, but I ended up going with it, especially after weigh-in, seeing how like Lipsky slash Ariane De Silva, as she should be called, like weigh-in super heavy, and it's like I don't like this for Lipsky. So I took the 3.5 for Kong Wang, and yeah, she made it look pretty easy for the most part. I thought 30-27 is fair. I thought 29-28 would not have been terrible either, because I thought in round 3 Lipsky landed some nice shots, and like to me she looked like she hurt going to the body twice. Like I think that was the body kick. The kicks were working well, but again, like Wong Tong working the volume. She looked really good. She's really good. She's top 15 level already, 100%. Get her towards the top. Let her fight Valentina. Have the rematch. I want to see it. It will be great. Yeah. So that was a great watch, and I'm very excited about her prospects in the future. And this girl does not lose rounds. Also, she is so good at striking. She does not lose rounds. The next fight I had a bet on, I believe, was Yeah, it was Chaos Williams. Damn, this was a bad bet. Chaos looked terrible. I was willing to take the shot on Chaos because the weight cut, the double weight cut is like this guy's gonna get hit by something. Gustafson's too hittable, and yeah, that's still true. But I mean, that guy, as he said, retard power. Like it's ridiculous. You could just go ham, go crazy, don't matter. Yeah, he looked amazing. He looked like a 170 Marab, to be honest. 170 fluffy. Just don't care what's coming at him. Just go. And like if you put him out, you put him out. But that's all you can do. Yeah, I severely underrated him. Even though I thought he looked really good in Contender Series, is like, he's gonna like lose one of these fights. I was picking Giles to beat him too. So, what do I know? Yeah, no, I got it wrong. This guy's pretty good, even though he's pretty old. So shout out to him, and shout out to All Stars in Sweden. Shout out my girl Knutson. I love her. The next fight I had a bet on, I think it's Spivak. Yep, it was Spivak. But it was not like I didn't have too much on Spivak. It was a little small bet on Spivak. Again, like a parlay. I wasn't that confident in Spivak, but like, damn, do I just want to cash something on against Waldo? I still think this Waldo guy's not good. Arguable Spivak won the fight. I think it's arguable. I thought Waldo won, if I'm being honest and being truthful. I thought it was 2-1 Waldo. I don't know how 30-27 was conceived. I don't know how you give round 3 to Waldo. Lunacy. Insane. I don't know how you do that. But I dislike this Waldo guy because he throws out some of the most meaningless volume ever, but like they score and it hurts me to watch. It's so nothing. It's so nothing. Most of it is blocked. They're not even, nothing is really hitting clean at all, but they're counting on UFC stats for some reason. I don't know. He's not good. He really isn't good. Give him Blades next. Like, please Blades, end this. Him or Gelton Armada. Just I don't want this anymore. Get this guy out of here because he's not that good. He really isn't that good. And I'm probably gonna be more willing to like put like a maybe even like a heavy bet against him like next time around because he's getting into competition where it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough for the guy. Give him Gone. Gone would smoke him. The next fight I had a bet on, I guess Azamat Mirzakhanov, but did I have anything with Mirzakhanov? I mean, it was with the Spivak one, of course. I don't think so, but I had money on Mirzakhanov and like a little degen parlay for like very small amount. Yeah, it went about as what I thought it would. Mirzakhanov just did what he had to do. Hibero, glass chin. It was expected. Not much to really say there. Give Mirzakhanov the 5-rounder he wants. He's fun to watch. I would love to see it. Cardio's a question. I would like to see him in a 5-rounder. Would be good. Not much more to say on that one. The next fight, I believe, was Josh Van Bruno Silva. I bet Bruno Silva up front. I bet Bruno Silva scorecards, no action. I didn't end up making money on it. Josh Van is so good. He is so good. I mean, there's no denying that. And I hate it that he's fighting Brandon Royval next because that means I'm going to have to fade Josh Van again because I think Royval wins that fight. I don't want to go against Josh Van, but here I am. I'm doing it again. What am I doing? I think Royval's too much of a step up, but man, I will say, like, he looked incredible against Bruno Silva. It did seem Bruno Silva. I'm not gonna lie. Cat might have took his soul like last time. You know, it kind of felt that way. I mean, Josh Van does hit different. I'm not gonna take away from Josh Van, and to be able to finish Bruno Silva, that was a legit finish. Cops probably wasn't. I'm not gonna lie. It probably wasn't. It was a nut shot that finished the fight. But Josh Van just knocked him down so many times. Bruno Silva was so tough. But at the end of the day, it was too much. Bruno Silva just getting overwhelmed. Josh Van with a great finish. I mean, it was a thing of beauty. Shout out to Josh Van. Incredible performance. The next fight I had a bet on. Like, I bet almost every fight on his card, actually. Oh, I think I ended up forgetting betting this, but I'll talk about it later. I did bet Holland sub, or not Holland. No, that's not true. That's not true. I bet fight ends by sub on the Holland Luque fight, and that ended up hitting. But like, I didn't. I think I forgot to track it, so we're just gonna disregard that. Um, and it was pretty last minute too, so that's probably why I forgot about it. But the next fight I had to bet on Mario Batista, Patchy Mix. I was very confident in Mario Batista. That was my second favorite bet of the card, besides Joe Pyfer, which we'll get into. Um, Man, Mario Batista looked incredible, and I think a lot of people were making a mistake of saying, "Oh man, Patchy Mix is so bad." Mario Batista made him look bad. That's the truth. Mario Batista made him look bad. There's a reason why he couldn't grapple Mario Batista. The movement was too much. He's a really good wrestler. The hands were up all the time. Good body shots. It was great boxing by Mario Batista. He looked amazing. He made me so proud. And I think this dude's really legit and actually can give dudes problems, like up in the weight class. Like, I don't want him to fight Petr Yan. Please, no. As a Petr Yan fan, I don't want that. But I'm not going to lie, man. Mario Batista versus Merab. Call me crazy. Does he not match up well with Merab? Does he not match up well? Insane cardio. Pretty good hands. Pretty good volume. Great takedown defense. That's kind of what you need. That's kind of what you need against Merab. I think he's got a good shot against Merab Dvalishvili. I would love to be there for it. I kind of want that to happen. But yeah, he looked amazing. Mario Batista deserves a big step up in competition, I think. And maybe Merab Sandhagen loser. Especially if it's Sandhagen. Because I think Sandhagen will lose that. Get a rematch, Sandhagen versus Mario Batista again. I think I like that fight as a possible next step. Or maybe Mario has someone else in the meantime. MMA Lab's on a roll. Except for O'Malley, but we'll talk about that. The next fight I had bet on was Joe Pyfer over KG. This is my biggest bet of the night. I was very confident Joe Pyfer pulled through. It was a pretty easy night for Joe Pyfer. I mean, maybe I shouldn't say that. My God, round one. I cannot believe KG's chin is still that good. I'm so happy. I mean, I picked decision. Because I did think it was like still that good, but like seeing it live is like, man, this dude is just built different. I don't understand how it works. I don't understand how KG works, but KG's KG. Yeah, Pyfer hits different. Little volume. Get a takedown like one point, like in the later rounds. He didn't really do a great job at like stamping it. It felt like he was too much into like one shots and like trying to put KG out, but it is what it is. He did what he had to do to win. That Philly team, it's hard to like their guys, but they're good, man. They're just good. That's just the truth. You don't have to like it, but it's the truth. Sorry about that. But I just think, yeah, Pyfer's pretty good. In a 3-rounder, Pyfer's gonna be a problem to deal with for anyone. Like, good luck trying to get 2 rounds out of 3 against him. In a 5-rounder, different story. It's very interesting in a 5-rounder how Pyfer does. I mean, Pyfer's good. So, yeah. The next bet I had on the card was Kayla Harrison to win in rounds 1, 2, and 3, and Kayla Harrison wins by submission. Yeah. Going into the week, I was thinking, like, probably Kayla decision or something like that. Kayla's going to win. But it's like, the more I thought about it, it's like, man, Juliana Pena got subbed by GDR. that didn't escape my mind at all. And, man, Kayla made it look pretty easy. Didn't help that Pena got a point taken. Didn't help. Kayla got that arm. Took it home with her. Yeah, Penny just had no answer. That's kind of what I expected going in, and the more I looked into it, and yeah, Kayla Harrison's really good. Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes is going to be great. I think I'd like to lean Amanda Nunes to win that fight, but I will say a probably good live spot on Amanda Nunes because I do think Kayla Harrison could probably have some success early, but Amanda Nunes might be able to find a good shot late. I'm just saying, I don't think that's unreasonable, and it'd be better odds. And it's just my first fluid thoughts on that fight. Very excited for that fight. That would be awesome. That's going to be an awesome fight when that gets made. So very excited for that in the future bantamweight, women's bantamweight. And then the main event, I went with O'Malley. I had a bet on O'Malley inside the distance, decision no action. I was like, I outright said going into this card, I have no confidence in O'Malley. I was like, I should have picked Marab. Like, I felt it was weird because I said in my brain I was like thinking O'Malley, but my gut is like it's telling me Marab, especially with like the crutches and stuff like that in camp. It was like there's no way I'm going to stake that much onto this, and I didn't. Thank God. Man, Marab's a monster. This dude's so good. I couldn't believe he finished O'Malley though. I could not believe it. I was genuinely shocked. Yeah. I mean, what is there to say? Marab's a monster. Dude is probably the greatest bantamweight of all time. I think it's him or Dominic Cruz. I cannot be mad at anyone saying Marab's the greatest. I don't know why people are using this fight to determine he's the greatest. What does beating O'Malley in a rematch do to your legacy? I don't know. You could have called him the greatest after the Umar fight, and I think that's completely fair. But beating O'Malley, I don't really get why people think like, oh man, he's the greatest now. No, I don't think this fight does too much for Rob's legacy. Whatever. The first time, absolutely does great things, but twice, and a guy who wasn't deserving of a title shot, honestly, that doesn't do anything for me. So, but the Umar fight, I think he is probably the GOAT after the Umar fight. That was so impressive, and one of the worst matchups in the division for him. So man, Rob, absolute monster. He's a killer. I don't believe him when he says all hard work. There's more to it. It's those Georgian genetics. But man, props to Rob. That dude is a monster. I love that wants to be an active champion. He's what we should want in the sport, and I think he's gotten a lot more fun to watch. I feel like, especially after like some other fights, he's a fun watch. I like me seeing some Marab, even though I've been picking against him like the past 2 times. It's no hate against Marab. Marab's no, actually 3 times because I picked against him with O'Malley again. Marab's a really cool dude. I outright said I'd rather Marab be the champ than O'Malley. I don't like O'Malley that much, if I'm being honest, but just being honest. Fun fighting style though for O'Malley, but personality wise, not my guy. But yeah. Then let's get over to the rest of the card, which I think might just be the Holland fight. I think I bet like almost every fight on here, and as you can see, what I bet and what I picked. Yeah, it's Kevin Holland versus Luque. Yeah, I went with Kevin Holland, and I was pretty close on it. I did end up betting on submission because I thought it was live for both guys, and I thought that was Luque's probably main winning condition, besides maybe a decision, but mostly a submission because Holland's there to be submitted. But man, Holland's a nasty submission artist, and he showed it here. I thought Holland looked amazing, and he talked about being more professional. And I like that. I like that career direction for Holland. I think he legitimately can make some noise in this division. Absolutely, he's really good at 170, and I mean, he went to a close fight with JDM. I didn't think it was that close, to be honest, but maybe a Kevin Holland that takes it more seriously does better. I don't know. It's like JDM is a champion, so maybe JDM become the champ was the wake up call Kevin Holland needed to start carrying, and I'm very happy about it because I love me some Kevin Holland. He's a great watch always. So shout out to Kevin Holland. But yeah, besides that, let's get on to making some picks for Usman versus Buckley. Very excited for this card. A lot of great fights. Jamie Lynn Horth versus Vanessa Demopoulos. Jamie Lynn Horth, I'm going to go decision, but I will tell you what. What are the odds on fight doesn't go? Because I don't hate those. I don't hate that. Under 2.5 plus 275, and then fight doesn't go is probably something similar. Here's fight doesn't go. Where is fight doesn't go? Cannot find it for some reason. Okay, plus 250. Yeah, I don't hate that at all. I think it's very live. Why do I think it's live? Vanessa Demopoulos, stupid submission. It's possible. I honestly think it's possible. Jamie Lynn Horth is the type of girl to fall for one of those dumb submissions that shouldn't submit her. Jamie Lynn Horth, like I know, I'm gonna be talking about Miranda Maverick later. And you'll be hearing my opinion on Miranda Maverick later. But I'm gonna say this. Jamie Lynn Horth is not that good. She really isn't that good. And Miranda Maverick outright said I made this girl look a lot better than she is. Did that mean she can't win this? No. Vanessa Demopoulos, way too small. She's 115 girl. She could even be an atom weight. Let's be real. She's here on short notice, filling in for a spot. Jamie Lynn Horth should just out-muscle her. Absolutely out-muscle her. Even out-wrestle her. It's so gigantic. The physicality difference is just way too much to ignore. Way too much to ignore. And it's to a point where it's like, I don't really know what Vanessa can do besides meme armbar. But although, like, you can look at maybe Jamie Lynn Horth finish. Let's finish only out of curiosity. Oh, -4. No, you can't do that. You cannot do that. But like Jamie Lynn Horth, like 2-3, like TKO submission, plus 1600, plus 1200 for both of those. I don't hate those. Those are not bad looks, I think. Yeah, Jamie Lynn Horth really should win. She's not that great. I was gonna have a good amount of money on Teresa Bleda against Jamie Lynn Horth, but fight got canceled. So that's about what I think about Jamie Lynn Horth. But I will talk about Miranda Maverick more when we get there, because that's the fight I have a lot to say about on this card. So, yep. Phil Rowe versus Angelusa. Give me Phil Rowe. I'm gonna go decision, even though this guy's literally never won a decision. Sounds crazy, but I think that's like a little misleading, like that, because he's gotten late finishes before. Like, he can win decisions. Like, it's not like he can't. Angelusa's super durable, which is why I'm thinking, like, yeah, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be like that. I think the size difference is gonna be too much, and I think Phil Rowe is gonna absolutely piece up Angelusa on the feet. Is it a worry that Angelusa can get a takedown and hold Rowe down? Yeah, it is a worry, but I think Phil Rowe is good enough to be able to do that. Am I crazy about it? No, but it's all right. Like, I think I'm surprised by the odds that it's plus 122, but maybe I shouldn't be that surprised. Like, it's close for a reason. I think Phil Rowe will win. Am I gonna get to a bet on it? Maybe I'll put like something small. It would be something small, like on the money line. Probably nothing crazy. Maybe Phil Rowe finish only. What is that odds on that? Oh, -230. Nah. That would be in like in a parlay maybe, but like I'm not crazy about that. Maybe small money on Phil Rowe, but besides that, I'm not crazy about it. Phil Rowe should win, I think. Ricky Simone versus Cameron Smotherman. I'm not that high on Smotherman. I think Simone. I'm thinking, do I want to say finish? I'm tempted because I think he can get it. The thing is with Smotherman, he gets hurt. So he can get hurt in fights so often. It might be a submission. It totally could be. Oh man, it's so tough. Because I think TKO submission are both possible. I think Smotherman will tough it out and it goes to decision. I think it's going to be a wrestling decision. I think Simone, it's a big gap in the wrestling. Even on the feet, I think he might be even better than Smotherman. Even the boxing. Trust Simone's chin more than I do Smotherman, even though Simone's chin is probably not the same as it used to be. On short notice, I think it's a tough ask for Smotherman. So I think Ricky Simone keeps it up, gets on a win streak, gets back on it, get back in that rankings. Ricky Simone, I'll love me some Ricky Simone. Would love to see that. So, and then we had a funny post about the Marab thing where he's like, I beat that guy one time. He sure did. So shout out to Ricky Simone. Love him. Although the odds, they're so nasty. Don't do it. I wouldn't say bet Ricky Simone. I think the 2-3 probably Ricky Simone is not a bad look. It's like odds wise, value wise, but yeah. Cody Durden versus Jose Ochoa. This is one of the big bets I have this week. This is probably my second biggest bet. Or actually, I think technically my biggest bet, because I have a good amount on finish only on Jose Ochoa. I think Jose Ochoa is going to win this fight, and I think he's very live to get a submission in rounds 2 or 3. I want to go round 2. I don't trust Cody Durden's gas tank. I think he took a lot of damage against Josh Van, and that could be career-altering possible damage. I know he's from Georgia, so it could be dicey. I know the judges probably like him. I've heard from Dan Levy. Shout out to Dan Levy, the Atlanta guy. and you have the MMA betting space. So that's in play. But man, I think Jose Ochoa is a real deal. I bet Jose Ochoa to beat Loner Kavanaugh. And I didn't look like a stupid guy. I didn't look stupid doing it because he looked like value there. And Loner Kavanaugh is the real deal. That guy is so good. It is a question about Cody Durden. Can he, like, maybe he can get this wrestling game? Like, we haven't really seen Jose Ochoa go against a guy like Durden, but I think he'll pass, man. I think this guy is really good. I think he presents a much bigger finishing threat than Cody Durden does. I think he can find a finish here. I trust his cardio more. And what Cody Durden has to do, if you don't trust Ochoa's cardio, what I will say is, if a fight goes and like Durden does what he needs to do to get Ochoa tired, Durden's going to be tired too. He's going to be tired too. And something Durden always does, puts himself into chokes. I think that against a guy like Jose Ochoa can absolutely snap something up and get him out of there. Jose Ochoa is really good, and I think this guy is going to get it done. So, yeah, give me Jose Ochoa to win this fight. Malcolm Wellmaker versus Chris Matinho. Wellmaker all day. I was tempted to go with round 2, but that's going to be round 1. Like, Wellmaker round 1, 2 KO. It probably hits. Let's be real. Like, Wellmaker's going to win this fight. Wellmaker by KO. Minus 250 on Bovada. Round 1, 2 KO. Minus 175. It's some nasty work here. But Malcolm Wellmaker's here for a reason. He's these odds for a reason. Moutinho, I don't think he's UFC level, sadly. He's been getting hurt in like the regional scene. Wellmaker hits different. He hits harder than those guys in the regional scene. What else is there to say? Like, this is Wellmaker's big moment. I do think Wellmaker's kind of the real deal. Although I will say, like, there will be guys, so probably I will fade him in the future. He's a young guy. It's not like he's unbeatable. He's absolutely beatable. But definitely here, like, come on, man. Like, this is a pushover matchup. And I know it's part of it's because Wellmaker is supposed to fight some other guys, but they didn't want any of that Wellmaker smoke. I get it. So I'm not going to be faulting him or anything like that, or the UFC, for making this matchup. Yeah, Wellmaker really should get this done pretty quickly. Michael Chiesa, and the odds are nasty, of course, but he probably does KO him, let's be real. Michael Chiesa, Court McGee. I think Chiesa wins the decision. Court's pretty good. I was on Court against Tim Means. I felt so big brain on that. I felt so big brain. Actually, I want to look back at my Bambia tips on that. I was so proud. When was this? Was that the Utah card? I think it was the Utah card. Oh, that's where I like Lawson Raquel Pennington, man. That hurts my soul thinking back to it. Let me. I'm just curious. Court. There's Court McGee. Court McGee plus 3.5 handicap. Man, that was legendary. Besides the point. I think like that was against Tim Means, who I thought was like pretty done as well as like Court, like who is like I think he's a little more dedicated. He was like Utah guy. Here, I think Chiesa is a little more in the game now. Not that Court's not necessarily out of it, but I think Chiesa is a big dude at 170. And I think he's gonna be able to implement the grappling, but I'm not gonna say like, oh yeah, Chiesa all day. Chiesa's gonna win this fight easy. I don't know about that. Not so sure about that. Probably goes over. Probably goes long. Both guys are tough to sub. Although I mean, if McGee learned to Darce in his off time last time, maybe you can get Chiesa because he always falls for Darces. The fight probably goes long, and I think Chiesa edges it out from top control, but it's probably going to get dicey. There's a reason why the 3.5 is pretty close to like pick 'em for a reason, because Court absolutely can win a round. So I want kind of nothing to do with this. Was I on Chiesa against Max Griffin? I might have been. I don't think I was. Never mind. Forget about it. I was on him against Tony Ferguson, but I was like round 3 a decision. That was a terrible bet in hindsight, but it is what it is. Next fight of the card: Paul Craig, Bellato. I don't care. Give me Paul Craig submission round 1. Bolato's 100% the type of guy to fall for a submission with this. I don't care if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm okay with being wrong. Whatever. I'm probably gonna bet this probably pretty small to be honest. Bolato's terrible. He is terrible. I don't care. Paul Craig is chinny. He's going back up to 205. I don't care. This dude's the type of guy to go into Paul Craig's guard and just get subbed. I think it's very possible. Although on Bovada, I will say there's odds for Paul Craig by submission or Rodolfo Bellato by KO. That's the way. That's the way. Maybe an under if you want better odds. What's under 2.5 or under 2 rounds? Nice 285. Under 2 rounds is minus 150. That's actually ridiculous. What the hell? Really? And 2.5 is like minus 1 whatever. That makes 0 sense. I'm looking at these odds right now. I haven't even looked at these. This is insane. Fight does not complete 2 rounds is minus 150. While under 2.5 is minus 285. Just bet that. Just bet that. There's not that much finishing equity difference between that half a round. Like I might even bet that actually. That's ridiculous. That makes no sense to me. So I'm probably gonna be betting Paul Craig small. I'm not gonna be betting that much on Paul Craig, but that under has my eye. It has my eye. Yeah. I don't care. Paul Craig submission, please. This Bellato guy is such a fraud. He should not have won against Jimmy Crute. He didn't win. He literally with the draw. He shouldn't have gotten a draw. Jimmy Crute won that fight. I don't care. Ior Patera should not have won. That fight should have been stopped. I think this guy should not have any wins in the UFC. I don't think he's that good. Sure, he couldn't KO Craig, but damn it, give me one more Paul Craig, and then I can fade you again. Yeah. Alonzo Menifield, Omer C. I think Omer C wins this. I'm going to be a little different. Am I going to go decision? I think a sneaky way to play this is KO or decision on Omer C. I think that's a sneaky way to play this and absolutely can work. Another sneaky way to play it, if you click on Bovada and look at more odds, Omer C to 1 in round 2 to start. Minus 165. Now, hold on. Omer C is currently on Bovada minus 700 to win the fight. The over 1.5 is minus 170. Like, it's expected to go over 1.5. And I'm not even asking him to go over the half, like Alonzo Menifield. I'm asking him to go over just 1. Like, just the 1. Don't even need the 1.5. And that's minus 165. Why would I play this any other way? I'm just going to pray that Omer C doesn't get Alonzo out of there right away. And I think it probably goes longer. Maybe like round 2, round 3 decision. I'll go KO round 2. I think it's super possible that he gets him out of there round 2 with a TKO. And I think Menifield would try and do his best to defend the sub. I will say, like, seeing his last fight was a little dicey with, like, on the feet. I know he won all 3 rounds, no problem. He's still improving. I think Daun Jung is probably better than what most people think. DFS by the numbers calls him Daun Bung, but I picked Daun Jung in my GFL draft I did one time on Couch Warriors podcast. I had belief in the guy in the GFL, but sadly GFL is not a thing anymore. Poor Josephine Knutson. Anyways, besides GFL, complete tangent. So I think C showed me like that was a good step up in competition. Like, this is similar to Navajo Sterling, where I'm saying like he's getting the right steps up in God, can't speak. He's getting the right step up in competition at the right time. Like, Daun Jung, good opponent to have. Test your skills, get better. Not with Navajo Sterling, went from Tuco Tokos to Urslan. Good step ups in competition. He's going to be getting better with those steps up. I think this is another good one for Omer C, and I think he's going to rise to the occasion and win. Yeah, give me Omer C to win. I think he maybe gets a TKO decision. I think either of those are pretty live. I'll probably be betting on one of those. Betting on that. Omer C. But I don't think I can track on a bet me a tip, sadly. But I will be betting that Omer C over 1 round together minus 165. I think that's ridiculous at the pricing. Give me that all day. Yeah, give me Omer C. And that doesn't mean Alonzo can't just land a bomb, though. I will say that Alonzo absolutely can land a bomb. So that's something to worry about. But I do think the grappling will be too much. Cody Brundage versus Mansur Abdul Malik. Cody Brundage by round 1. DQ. No, I'm just kidding. Abdul Malik is going to win this fight. Interesting odds I saw on this fight was Mansur Abdul Malik in round 2 to start at, what was the odds? It was plus money. It was like round 2 to start plus 115. I don't hate that. I do think it happens in round 1. So, like, I am picking against that, but, like, I don't hate that as, like, a bet. Like, I don't think that's terrible. Does the fight end early? Yeah, probably under 1.5. You're probably safe, honestly. Under 2, you're probably safe. Mansur hits too different. I will say the Klein fight was not a great look. Sure, he took a big elbow, like a spinning elbow, and was, like, fine. Sure, it's a good thing you're able to take shots, but Nick Klein doesn't hit different. He doesn't hit that hard in comparison to like a lot of dudes in the division. Cody Brundage probably hits harder than him. What is, out of curiosity, I'm not going to talk about this too much now, but like Cody Brundage takedowns over 0.5 is plus 300. I don't hate that. And I don't hate Mansur, like, more takedowns. Like, I don't hate, like, the both of those. Because I think Mansur... Well, I think Cody Brundage might go in with a game plan to get a takedown to begin with. And I think Mansur might even try to, instead of letting Cody Brundage get a takedown, he might reverse Cody Brundage and, like, take him down as a result of Cody Brundage getting the wrestling going. So... I think that's possible. I think that's like an interesting scenario of playing like maybe odds like that. The best case scenario would be like Brundage gets 1 and then Mansur somehow gets 2, but that probably wouldn't happen. Like if Mansur gets something, he's probably gonna ground and pound Cody Brundage out. I will say it's worrying with Brundage for the DQ. He's always live to get a DQ. He will take the way out, first door out. Mansur Abdul Malik. It's Malik. I keep calling him Malik. It's Malik. Mansur absolutely is the type of guy to get DQ'd by Brundage. Probably not, though. Like, you would think dudes are now preparing, like, okay, do not hit the back of the head. Do not knee a downed opponent with Brundage. This dude will screw you out of your bonus or whatever, or screw you out of your money. I think Mansur is going to win. I think he's probably going to make it look easy. I think it's going to be through KO. Yeah. Cody Garbrandt versus Raoni Barcelos. Man, this is such a tough one for me to pick. I'm going Barcelos. I think he'll win the decision. Yes, Garbrandt absolutely can win this. I have very little confidence in this fight, but I think Barcelos is still pretty good. Garbrandt absolutely can land a shot on Barcelos, but I think Barcelos, I trust his volume more. Cody Garbrandt could be a little low volume. I'm worried about the speed advantage Cody Garbrandt has. I'm very, very worried about it. But Barcelos is a really good fighter. I trust Barcelos more if we get to the ground. I'm not saying that Cody Garbrandt can't wrestle. He absolutely can wrestle. He's a good wrestler. Like Figueiredo to a Barcelos is a big step down in competition. So I definitely wouldn't be shocked if I'm wrong on this. I'm not betting no Barcelos. I'm not betting no Cody Garbrandt. I'm not betting anything on this fight. But I just think the volume on Barcelos works, and I think he has the ground game necessary to outwork Cody. So that's why I'm going Barcelos by decision, but not very confident. Although maybe I'm interested in maybe like an over. But I wouldn't even put that much on it. Like, again, wouldn't shock me if some random thing happens and one of them gets KO'd. Next up the card, Evan Shabazian versus Andre Petroski. Call me crazy. I'm going Petroski. I'm going to go with him by decision. Although, I'm tempted. I'm so tempted by 2-3, but I'm going to go decision. This is kind of crazy. You might know me as the Edmund guy. I love me some Edmund Shabazian. He was my first ever bet on this channel for when I was doing this. So like I did bet the Nami Yunus Hebos card. My first ever bet. And it was like I won't even look now. I'm so curious. 10 units on Shabazian to beat AG Dobson. The reason why I put 10 units is because I would get my 10 units back from the book because I started doing this for like a school project or whatever. Time flies. A college project. So I mean, I love me some Edmund. I was on Edmund against what's his name? Vodka. I was on Edmund against GM3. He was robbed of a finish. I stand on that. So all that being said, I love me some Edmund, but I'll tell you what, I love me some Andre Petrosky. I think this guy's super underrated. And funnily enough, people think this guy's chinny, which I mean, I guess I can understand the sentiment. But the last KO he got was that Malkoon hip. He hasn't been KO'd since then, like, which is pretty interesting. Not like he's been necessarily fighting the best KO guys. But something interesting to say with someone who's going to be chinny. It is a worry in round 1 against Edmund because Edmund doesn't lose round 1s generally. But if this fight goes longer than that, I really do think Andre Petrosky can get his wrestling going. I think he can even get his wrestling going even round 1. I think it's possible. Petrosky's good, man. This guy's so underrated, and I think he's gonna win again. Am I gonna bet him? Oh, I'm tempted. Like, I already have some bets on him, but do I want to track it? I don't know. I'm probably gonna track it, but not much. Not much, man. Like, Petrosky's good. I like me some Petrosky. I think he absolutely can win this fight. Actually, what a curiosity. Edmund Shabazian KO, Andre Petrosky by points. That's interesting. Edmund Shabazian KO, Andre Petrosky by submission. Interesting as well. Or, I mean Edmund KO, probably. Edmund KO 1-2 with Petrosky 2-3 submission, or Petrosky, or just Petrosky. I think that's probably pretty good. I don't see where you go wrong with that. Yeah. Edmund Shabazian rounds 1 and 2. Yeah. Round 1, 2 KO is plus 165. Petrosky, and just Petrosky money line at plus 130. That's money. I think that's pretty likely, and I might even play that. So, okay, I'm probably gonna track it. Yeah, I like Petrosky though. I do think he's gonna win this fight, and do it so in probably not so fun fashion. Sorry, but it's kind of what I think. Gotta put some respect in Petrosky's name, and also I will say this to the people who think Andre Petrosky is a communist. He is not. He is not a communist. He has the arm and the sickle and hammer, the communist symbol, because his family came from there. It's to show where his family came from. It's not because he's a communist. He's not a communist. Nothing to do with communism. It's just that's where his family's from. He lives with pride, like knowing I'm from a powerful family from like tough roots. Like went through some really tough times. He's not a communist. Get that out of your head. That didn't happen. That's not the case. Actually, out of curiosity, wait. If I remember correctly, is Andre Petrosky at that same Philly gym? He might be, isn't he? Henzo Gracie Philly. It is the same gym. These guys are too good this year, man. These guys are literally killing it. Yeah, give me Petrosky. I think he wins this fight. Rose Namajunas versus Miranda Maverick. All right. This is the fight I have the most to say on. I have a lot to say about this fight. I like Miranda Maverick here. I think she will win this fight. And you'll be like, oh my god, what the hell? You were saying how bad Horth is earlier. She just beat Horth and she didn't even look good against Horth. Yeah. I thought she had a terrible night against Horth. Actually, you know what? I'm going to be... Screw it. I'm going to say it. Submission round 3. Probably decision. It's probably decision. But Miranda Maverick, I'm picking Miranda Maverick to win this fight. Let me tell you exactly why. Something that people are completely ignoring this week, although there are definitely cappers who know and like I've mentioned it. Miranda Maverick, Rose Namajunas have been each other's main sparring partners for the past 2 to 3 years. That's the truth. They have been sparring with one another for a while now, and I mean, that's just been the case. So. What does that tell me? This fight's going to play out close. They know each other very well. I don't see how this fight does not play out close. So, I mean, I played plus 230 on Maverick earlier in the week. Not early in the week. I played it like a while ago. But even like, where is it now? Plus 200, plus 190. I think it's fine. I think it's going to, at the very least, I think you're going to feel good saying at least it was value. Even if she loses, it's at least value. That's what I'm pretty much leaning on. I think the plus 3.5 is probably very likely. On Maverick, I think that will happen. But other things. So I have a lot more to say about the matchup. So what I think about Maverick, I think she's super physical. I think something I've liked about Maverick, she's been talking about this fight all week. They're not even just all week. Like leading up to this fight, she thinks it's going to be a super tough fight, like probably like 3-round war. Like I'm kind of crazy going with submission round 3. I am kind of crazy. She probably thinks it goes decision. I like that. Why do I like that? Because what that tells me, she's not going to do stupid stuff on top to lose this fight. She knows. I mean, there's no doubt about this. Rose Namajunas, she's probably better on the feet. I will say, what I think is going to happen on the feet, I think it's going to be a staring match. I don't think it's going to be much happening at all. Why? Because they're sparring partners. They know each other's moves. Miranda Maverick's usually pretty good defensively as well on the feet. That's just the truth. She does. How she's losing fights, she's not usually losing on the feet. Something to mention. But of course, Rose is probably better than all those girls she fought. So I get it. But even then, like the sparring partners thing, I think it's going to be a staring match. I don't think much is going to be happening on the feet. And sure, if it stays on the feet for 15 minutes, you have to lean Rose. Absolutely, I'm not going to argue that. Like Rose is definitely the better striker. I mean, I've been saying like in the lead up of Miranda Maverick's past fights. I bet her like pretty big, like a bunch of times. I have a Miranda Maverick signed shirt. Shout out to her. I love her. It's like she's taken from Rose Namajunas. It's pretty clear as day. She's taken from Rose Namajunas. Like you could tell from her footwork, and she's gotten so much better from striking. I don't understand where people are being like, Miranda Maverick is not improved at all. This is just wrong. Just wrong. She looked better last time out. I will say that. I'm not going to argue that. Although I will say, because I was there live for that fight. It looked a lot worse in person than it did like when watching it back. Like I remember like, oh my god, I'm sweating this decision. I wasn't sweating as much when I watched it back. It's like, oh, she definitely won round 1. She definitely won round 3. It was not no worry. Round 2 was definitely a worry. She did mention like she got hurt like the back of the head and like that messed her up. She's probably right, but at the same time, I don't want to hear it. Like I don't think that's a good excuse. Rose Namajunas is not going to do that, of course. So I wouldn't worry too much about that going in. And something else to mention, these two are both super close friends, so something to mention. So maybe like Rose doesn't throw as hard or something. I don't know. This is Miranda Maverick's big opportunity. It's finally her shot to go up in the rankings. Miranda Maverick has been trying to go up in the rankings for so long. Like it's been forever since she's had the chance to do so. So this is her chance. This fight matters so much to Miranda Maverick. You have to know that. Also, mama strength if you care about that. If you care about that. I mean, what's her say? She adopted. It's not actually. She didn't actually have a kid necessarily, but she adopted. So I mean, more motivation for that. Don't worry about sleeping and stuff like that. Her husband did all that stuff, so no worry about that. She's fine. This is the biggest fight in Miranda Maverick's life. I think she's going to step up to the plate. The new generation, be able to take out Rose Namajunas. I don't think Rose Namajunas has looked that great at 125, if I'm being honest. Let's go over the fights. Amanda Ribas. Was that the first 125 fight? No. Menofiro. My bad. Was that short? I don't think it was short notice, but like 3-round fight against Menofiro. That was her last 3-round fight. And like, it's been a while since then. But even then, before then, it's been a while since she had a 3-round fight. She's not used to 3 rounds, which is this fight. So maybe there's a question about 3 rounds with Rose Namajunas. She'll probably be fine. I'm not going to act like, oh, wait, no. She's screwed in 3 rounds. No, she'll probably be fine. But, I mean, if you're so used to fighting 5-rounders and now going 3-round, it could be an adjustment. Menofiro, absolutely outsized. Just too big. And Menal absolutely won. Also mentioned Rose broke her hand in that fight. She did all right considering, but she was not the same. But she had that adversity. Rose Namajunas then fought Amanda Ribas at 125. Amanda Ribas, she's a 115 girl up there. 115 girl going up at 125, back and forth. That's what she does. She's not necessarily the biggest woman, and she was able to get Rose down a few times. But I will say this, something to note: Rose Namajunas does have good takedown defense. Generally, does have good get-ups pretty generally. Like, most of these girls don't do a good job at keeping Rose down. And I don't worry, I will get to it. It's like, oh, why are you picking why are you picking Maverick then? I will get to it. But yeah, going over it, Amanda Hebos 4 out of 8 takedowns, 1 minute 38 control. Not much control in a 25-minute fight, while Rose had like 6 minutes 59 off of 1 takedown. So that's there to mention. About the Rose fight. Not the Rose fight. The Hebos fight. And even then, people argue Hebos should have won that fight. People argue that. So don't forget that was a pretty close fight. I thought Rose won, but I thought it was pretty close as well. Rose's fight after that, Tracy Cortez. I don't think Tracy Cortez is that good. I don't think she takes fighting that seriously, if I'm being honest. I mean, her eyelash came off like the first exchange. She didn't even really try wrestling until like the later in the fight for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe short notice at Elevation. It was at Denver, Colorado. I was on Rose there, and I think I was on her against Hebos. Although I didn't track that because that was the Edmund card. That was when I bet Edmund the 10 units or whatever I was talking about earlier. Funny. But like Tracy had nothing for her, and like I don't think it's the same, and I'll explain why it's not the same. Because I know like a lot of people think Tracy Cortez is better than Miranda Maverick for some reason. It's probably because of the Jasmine fight. I don't agree. I do not agree. Tracy Cortez fought Jasmine Jasubisius that Jasmine's eye was messed up. Just to mention, her eye was completely messed up in that fight, like round 2 and 3. Miranda Maverick, when she fought Jasmine, don't forget, she won round 1 in that fight against Jasmine. Then her eye went blurry and blind in rounds 2 and 3. Important details to mention, in my opinion. So let's just not just ignore that. And I would think Jasmine would beat Tracy in like a rematch. I mean, I'll say it outright. I'm gonna pick Araujo to beat Tracy Cortez. I don't think she's that good. I really don't think she's that good. Her boxing's all right. Her wrestling's all right. Overrated, in my opinion. Anyways, but the tangent, like, I'm not crazy about like a Tracy Cortez win on short notice. Miranda Maverick is supposed to get that fight instead of Dione Barbosa. I'll go over that fight. I thought Maverick's gonna win that fight. I will say, if Maverick did fight Tracy Cortez instead of Horth that night where Maverick did awful, she would not have won. Maverick would not have won. But the night she fought Dione Barbosa, she would have won. I do believe that. I do think Tracy Cortez is overrated. But that was on short notice at Elevation, so maybe she was like too afraid to get like go with that. Although I think she did get like 1 round in the later rounds, but I mean, it was, at that point, like, Rose is cruising. So what? And then in the Erin Blanchfield fight, sure, Rose was looking good. I will say Erin Blanchfield didn't even like shoot that many takedowns that early, and then she got like in pretty good with the body lock, got reversed with like a judo throw. Like, that's not good. But I mean, I will say this. I mean, if you've heard my breakdowns for Erin Blanchfield fights, you know I do not rate her striking at all. I do not rate her wrestling at all. She's only really somewhat okay at body locks. Like, she can body lock. But not really girls. She's like not really girls more physical than Erin Blanchfield. That's not the case. That was not the case. Rose Namajunas is not more physical than Erin Blanchfield. This isn't. So I will say this, like, the fact that Erin Blanchfield was able to close distance as easy as she was, and like, even in round 1, she wasn't even going for like takedowns at that point. Even in like round 1, to be able to close distance there, how she did, it's kind of alarming, because like she really needs speed to win these fights, and like, is Miranda Maverick that much of a difference in speed wise than Erin Blanchfield? I don't think so. They're probably pretty similar in speed wise. I like Miranda Maverick's distance management more than I do Erin Blanchfield's on the feet. I will say that, maybe. And not to mention, Miranda Maverick has more to offer in the wrestling realm. Not necessarily her takedowns are like the best thing ever, but it's more so like Miranda Maverick actually can do like a single leg or like a double leg or body locks. She has more options, trips, etc. She has more options in her repertoire that we've seen in the past. And Blanchfield mostly body locks, and she's pretty all right at body locks, especially in girls. She's more physical than. It wasn't a good look to see her kind of wilt and like not do so good. 5 rounder, I guess. Aaron Blanchfield built in the fights. But again, she didn't even try really going for that many takedowns early on in the fight, so something to mention. Yeah, but now here against Miranda Maverick, who in this win streak, like, let's go over them. Jasmine fight, already talked about it. She went blind rounds 2 and 3. She won round 1. Interesting. And she had like some really terrible takedown attempts in like this Jasmine fight. She absolutely did, especially in round 1. I mean, it was actually pretty all right, but sorry about that. My microphone just not working for a moment. Okay, we're back to it. Miranda Maverick's like just past wins. Jasmine, I already talked about it, but again, Jasmine's one of the more physical girls in the division, and Jasmine, what else I want to say? One of the more physical girls. She has very good wrestling. Like that's Jasmine's game. She's a dog. So I in my opinion, not the worst like person to look bad against. I mean, Miranda Maverick's losses in the UFC, Lacey Barber was not a loss. She did not lose that fight. Erin Blanchfield, Miranda Maverick's more improved since then. She's a lot better about it. I think she's a lot better than she was back then. And Jasmine, I mentioned like the eye thing, but even then, like even if you don't care about the eye thing, it's not a bad loss by any means. Jasmine is really good. Then these wins, Priscilla Cachoeira, forget about it. What was there to say about this one? Andrea Lee, she looked good. I would say she looked good. This is like the last fight Andrea Lee. I would say like had any sort of like Andrea Lee-ness in her, I guess. Like what was her like last fight? I know her last fight was JJ Aldrich. And the fight before that was Montana De La Rosa. Yeah, and then Miranda. Like that was her last fight fighting like one of the better girls. Miranda looked really good in that fight, I thought. Made it look pretty easy. Although there were good moments from Andrea Lee, like a German suplex, that was insane. I will say that was insane. But Miranda Maverick pretty much beat her. It was no real threat at all at any point in the fight. Got good takedowns, good control. She could put in a pretty nice triangle, but able to defend it pretty well at the end of the fight. Miranda Maverick's good. Then Dione Barbosa. This is a pretty underrated win. I will say people are completely underrating Miranda Maverick's wins and saying like she's beat no one. Dione Barbosa is pretty alright. Not to mention Dione Barbosa is one of the more physical girls in this division. One of the most physical girls in this division. Very good ground game as well. Very good judo throws. And she landed, and not to mention Dione Barbosa packs power. She landed a flush spinning elbow. Miranda Maverick took it like nothing. Miranda Maverick didn't really get hit too much in that fight either. She looked amazing in that fight. I had a big bet on her there against Dione Barbosa. It's like she's not losing this fight. Thank God I had that because I did terrible in that card. I remember like that was like I got like 2 fights right and everything else wrong, and that was like the one bet that made me like, okay, I didn't do that bad today. What else to say? But able to take down Dione Barbosa. I know Dione Barbosa is like sometimes like willing to go for subs, stuff like that, but to hold her down, not bad. Defend the submissions, I think it's good. Miranda Maverick's really good and does a good job mitigating damage on the feet. And then that Jamie Lynn Horth fight, not a good look. I will say, not a good look. It does tell me she won against adversity. Another thing, Jamie Lynn Horth, one of the more physical ladies in this division. One more physical, and I will say this against these physical ladies in this division. Maybe not so much against Dione Barbosa, but like against Jamie Lynn Horth, against Jasmine, Miranda Maverick is able to push these girls against the fence. Cage pushing is an option. She can't cage push. So like that's not out of the question. Even if she can't get the takedown, she can get cage pushes. And in like times dire when she's not doing the best, like in round 2 of that Jamie Lynn Horth fight, she did something really dumb where she was on top but like too high, and then fell off top, and then Jamie Lynn Horth took top position. I already mentioned this earlier. She's not going to do that here. She knows that Rose will take that advantage if she gives it to her. She's going to try and do whatever she needs to do to stay safe. I hope so. Because Rose Namajunas is slick on going up in fights. And yeah, like a lot of this like dynamic of like the training partners like really does play into like why I like Maverick here. Because like, yeah, I get it. It goes both ways. Sure, Rose learned a lot from Maverick, and sure, Maverick learned a lot from Rose. I do think the physicality is going to play a big role here, and I think Maverick gets a takedown. I think she can stay on top. I know her control's not necessarily been the best, but the reason why I think she can have that success, the training partner, she knows what she needs to do in order to win. Because like I said, I think this is going to be a staring match on the feet. I don't think much is going to happen on the feet. I think there's huge upside on the ground. Not to mention Miranda Maverick, super durable. She's super durable. I don't think she's getting finished. I think that finish only on Maverick is probably pretty good, to be honest with you. Like, finish only plus 140. I like that. That's you probably get your money back at the very least. And then Miranda Maverick, what was it? The plus 3.5 for the other thing I was talking about, but I already mentioned that earlier. I think it's gonna play out close. Am I forgetting anything? Like, Rose Namajunas, like, I felt like her last not last big chance. I mean, she's 30, 32, almost 33. Maverick's almost 28, so shout out to them. Almost birthdays. Like, I don't think Rose is the same girl at 125. She isn't, especially against these physical girls. I think Maverick's the next generation. She's with these other girls for the next generation of flyweight. I think this is Maverick's time. I think she steps up on the plate and get to win. You can't trust Pat Barry in Rose's corner. I'll tell you what, you cannot bet Rose Namajunas at this number. Even if you don't want to bet Maverick, I get it. I understand. I'm willing to lose on Maverick. It's okay with me. If you don't want to bet Maverick, do not bet Rose. Don't do it. I promise you that you're not going to feel good. I really don't think you're going to be feeling good if you bet Rose. Yeah, I think Maverick's super allowed to win this fight. The sub is probably a Hail Mary, honestly. I think it's possible, like, late in the fight. Like, but probably decision. Let's be real. It's probably decision. But I think the only fight ending equities on Maverick. I think Rose Namajunas on the feet. I don't think she's going to TKO Maverick. Maverick can take shots for days, and she doesn't get hit that often. I don't think Rose is getting no sub. Her subs, like, earlier on in the UFC, when she came in, like, known as a grappler, sure, it was good. I think it made more sense against smaller girls. Against these bigger girls, I don't think it really makes some sense. Oh my god, I forgot to mention, like, Jillian Robertson. Actually, let me bring this up. I found this interesting that Rose Namajunas brought in Jillian Robertson for this Maverick fight. Why? I get it. Maverick is going to be attacking the ground game. I mean, it's pretty obvious what we're getting from that. But, like, and I know Jillian Robertson subbed Rose Namajunas, so I guess that too. Maybe she's worried about getting subbed. That's something to think about. Maybe that's some credence for my submission thing. But Jillian got beat by Miranda Maverick pretty handily. And Jillian Robertson's a 115 girl. She fits that 115 weight class. She's not the perfect girl to get matched, like, to train with when training for Miranda Maverick. So I think that's pretty interesting that she brought in Jillian. Good win on Miranda Maverick's resume, by the way. Do not forget she beat Jillian Robertson. Doing great things at 115. She's a real deal. I think Miranda Maverick wins this fight. Yeah. I think I've exhausted most of the talking points I have to say. I'm trusting my gut. This is my biggest bet of the card. Or I guess, I mean, money line wise, but, like, I think Ochoa technically is my biggest because of the fight finish only bet. Because I don't think Durden's gonna be finishing, but yeah. Next fight of the card. The Nigerian Nightmare, Kamaru Usman versus Joaquin Buckley. Give me, oh man, my computer is messing up, but give me Joaquin Buckley, but by decision. I think this fight will go long. This Kamaru Usman could take a shot. This guy's pretty durable, like, historically. Sure, he got knocked out by Leon Edwards by a pretty flush head kick, but, like, overall, he's been pretty durable, like, his whole run. I think this dude's gonna at least still be there. I think there's a chance, like, live, like, he'd be live as the fight goes on, possibly. But I do think Joaquin Buckley is a new age, the new era. Funny I'm saying this because, like, Rose is here, Kamaru's here. Like, man, these are former champions, and they defended on the same card on 260. Was it 268 or 258? 268. 258 was Usman Burns. I remember this. 268 was Colby versus Usman 2, and that was Rose versus Zhang 2. Arguably, both lost their fights. Although I would argue it's a draw in Usman and Colby. Not a win. But besides the point. I think the speed is going to be too much for Usman, to be honest. I think it's a tough ask on tough ask for him, but man, I will tell you what, Usman's good. Usman is still really good, and I'm not willing to bet against him. I'm looking at that fight goes a distance line. I think that's probably pretty all right. And I'm curious what those odds are right now. 4.5 minus 105. I don't like that, but I mean, I do think it goes. I really do think it goes a distance. Fight goes plus 105. I'll probably put like a little bit on that. I do think it happens. Usman is live, and I will tell you what, I'm not betting pre. I'm gonna be looking live to bet this fight. I'm only looking live to bet this fight because maybe Usman shows up and is like, okay, y'all must have forgot. It's very possible. I need to see how these guys look. It's very possible that maybe Usman does better as the fight goes on, and Joaquin does pretty good early on. It's possible, and it could be really close. But I am ultimately going with the younger guy who I think just has more in it right now. He's all in. I trust that he's all in. I think Joaquin Buckley gets it done. I don't think he's gonna KO Usman. Yeah, I think this fight will go the distance. So yeah, give me Joaquin Buckley. Now, after going over all the fights, let's go over all my picks again. Not all my picks again, really, but the more significant strikes and more takedown bets we're looking at. But not so much Demopoulos, Jamie Lynn Horth. More significant strikes, probably Jamie Lynn Horth. It's too big. Probably going to have top position. More takedowns, probably Jamie Lynn Horth, I think. I really doubt Demopoulos getting no takedown here. Yeah, give me Jamie Lynn Horth for both of those. Phil Roll, Angelusa. Phil Roll, more significant strikes. Angelusa, probably more takedowns. I have odds for these now, so let me actually look at these for each one. What are the odds for each of these? I would say Phil Rowe, more significant strikes. Plus 120? That's kind of ridiculous to me. Really? I mean, maybe he's not the most volume guy, but neither is Lusa. More takedowns, Lusa, minus 500. About what I expect. Next fight of the card. Ricky Simone, Cameron Smotherman. I'd probably lean more significant strikes and more takedowns, both Ricky. I bet you more takedowns is disgusting. Let me check. Minus 2,800. What are we doing here? But I get it. More significant strikes, minus 185. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Although I'm not the most crazy about that significant strike claim. Cody Durden, Jose Ochoa. The more 6 strikes and more takedowns lines. More 6 strikes, Ochoa, I agree, minus 260. And more takedowns, Durden. Yeah, probably Durden. So I don't disagree with those odds. Those make sense to me. Next fight of the card, Malcolm Wellmaker, Chris Moutinho. Wellmaker by whatever he wants. More 6 strikes easily. Maybe not. You know what? I can maybe make a case with Chris Moutinho. Maybe he they don't even give you odds for this. But it's maybe Moutinho lands more and just gets KO'd. There's maybe a chance of that. So I'm gonna, and then you can make a similar case for another fight coming up. Yeah, and then more takedowns. Probably neither gets a takedown, so I wouldn't even bother with that. I guess Moutinho will be more willing to do it. I don't know. Chiesa, Court McGee. I guess Chiesa more 6 strikes just because he's longer. More takedowns, I guess Chiesa too, but I don't like that much at all, to be honest. I guess more 6 strikes I would go Chiesa though, but it's probably close. It's probably close. I'd pass for me. Paul Craig, Rodolfo Bellato. Probably Bellato more 6 strikes. Although maybe Paul Craig gets on top elbows. But probably Bellato more 6 strikes if I'm being honest. Then more takedowns. I think you can argue Craig's not a bad side to bet for that, but I guess pulling card counts for Bellato takedown, so I just wouldn't touch that. Omer C, Alonzo Menifield. I bet you Omer C more takedowns is disgusting. Let's find out. Oh yeah, it is. Minus 1,600. Then more significant strikes. Yeah, Omer C minus 250. I agree with both of those. I think both of those should hit. Cody Brundage versus Mansour Abdul Malik. I think there is a case for Cody Brundage more significant strikes, because if this fight any sort of extends on the feet, he's gonna be landing more. He could be landing more, to be honest with you. And just get KO'd. So I think that's a possibility. More takedowns. Mansour's the dog. I think there's a possibility that hits, because Cody Brundage goes for a takedown and then he just gets reversed off of that takedown, and then that counts as a takedown for Mansour. I think that's an interesting way to look at it. So I'd probably look at those ways to play, but yeah, those are dog odds too. Barcelos Garbrandt. I guess Barcelos more significant strikes for this, because I trust his volume more. But I don't like it that much, and more takedowns Barcelos too, but I also don't like it that much. Edmund Shabazian, Andre Petrosky. Probably Shabazian more 6 strikes, to be honest. He'll probably get enough off in round 1. But more takedowns Petrosky. I think that's pretty likely. That's pretty likely, and it's not as much juice as some of these other ones that it should be probably juiced with. So yeah, Nami Yunus, Miranda Maverick. I think Miranda Maverick more takedowns, probably Rose more significant strikes, but I think it's gonna be a staring match, so I wouldn't even bet that. I like the Miranda more takedowns, and it's not even that crazy of odds. Let me check just to be sure. It's like minus 205 last I checked. Let me check. More takedowns, Miranda Maverick minus 205. I don't hate that at all. The next one, Kamaru Usman, Joaquin Buckley. This one's tough. I'd probably lean Buckley more significant strikes, and I guess probably Usman more takedowns. But I wouldn't be surprised if like Buckley goes for a takedown. To be honest, I don't put it past him to go for a takedown of Usman. Like, that's very possible. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the card. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you have a great one. You can check me out at betmma.tips, champ bets, and see you again next time. We have a great card next week at Azerbaijan, Baku, at a great main event, Jamal Hill versus Khalil Roundtree. I can't speak. Khalil Roundtree. We will be there. Very excited for that one, and very excited for this card. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great one.